Hope y'all are doing fantastic. There are teams every single year in college basketball that either exceed or fall below our expectations that we have of them preseason and even throughout the season as well. Teams rise and they fall, they go on runs and they go on losing runs. It's just something that happens in the world of college basketball. So today we are going to go over 5 teams that have surprised us this year. 3 that have surprised us in a very good, positive manner, and 2 that have fallen short of our expectations. And these do not mean that these teams can go far in the tournament if they haven't surprised us. Got to be Wisconsin for me. We did not talk about Wisconsin at all on this channel, and I did not believe in them whatsoever, even after they beat Arizona when they scored 100 points or something on them. But this man right here, John Tonje, is an absolute killer. This man is a professional scorer who I can't believe wasn't on my radar at all. Kind of just came out of nowhere. I mean, last year, I think he had injury issues at Missouri, but before that, he was a 4-year player at Colorado State. And don't get me wrong, that's not bad. Was a good player, but he has taken a huge leap in his 6th year of college. Wisconsin is just a very good team. And to bounce back from losing your top 2 players to the transfer portal in AJ Storr and Chucky Hepburn and coming back even stronger, they're 9th in KenPom right now. And they're predicted to finish tied for 12th in the Big Ten preseason poll, which they've obviously blown out of the water. They're competing, probably won't get it, but they're competing for first place. The Badgers have won this season. No matter what happens, well, I don't know. I guess they could still lose in the first round, but I think the Badgers are winners this year. Guys like John Blackwell have taken a huge step. Even their big white guys are amazing to watch. Max Klesmit is a hooper. And I just really like watching this Wisconsin team play. So, Badger fans, congratulations. Your basketball team is really good, and they've really surprised me in a great way. Another team that has been surprising to me is the Missouri Tigers. They're picked 12th in the SEC preseason poll. And in our preseason poll, sorry, I just spoiled the next one. 12th spot. But they have far exceeded our expectations. They're 14th in KenPom right now. I really like watching Dennis Gates' team play. They don't have one real star. Of course, Mark Mitchell and Caleb Grill are their 2 leading scorers. Caleb Grill, great story, by the way. You should definitely check his story out. All these guys have great stories. Tamar Bates, Tony Perkins, Marquez Warwick. All these guys are great. But I really want to highlight Anthony Robinson II. He might not pop out as much on the stat sheet, but the analytics love this guy. EvanMia.com has him as the 6th best player in the country, but I think it's a stat called BPR. I'm not sure what that means. But hey, if somebody has you, especially somebody as respectable as Evan Mia, has you as their 6th best player in the country, you got to be doing something right out there. So Missouri, just an amazing team, an amazing story in this packed SEC, them emerging as one of the top dogs in there. It's just incredible. So congratulations, Missouri. Next up, I spoiled it, and we're going to make a video on this team probably. But St. Mary's lost 3 guys. They lost Alex Dukas to the NBA. I think he plays for the Thunder. They lost Joshua Jefferson who is playing really well at Iowa State. And they lost Aiden Mahaney, which was their leading scorer last year, to UConn. And you may think a team like St. Mary's in the WCC, losing 3 guys that are really good players, would probably be so detrimental to the point of collapse. That's what I would think, if I lost my 3 best players. But this guy, Augustus Marshallonis, and other men on the team, they're grown men. Like, these guys, I have so much respect for them. They just grind it out, and they are so good at basketball that I think they are a Final Four caliber team, honestly. I haven't seen many teams that I think are better than St. Mary's this year. I personally think Gonzaga is a very good team, despite what they've gone through, and maybe they might not be the best ranked. But St. Mary's both times, especially last night at the Kennel, were just the better team. St. Mary's was just better at basketball. Look, they play defense. They have a guy named Mikey Lewis, who is an under-recruited freshman, might I say, who is just a stone-cold killer who just takes and makes big shots. They're not afraid of the moment. They play hard. They rebound. They do everything well. And kudos to Randy Bennett, always having this team in the tournament year in and year out. I love St. Mary's. The Gales. The Gales. Now it's time for the disappointments. We have 2 of them. There are a few more. Luckily, there have been more exciting teams than disappointing teams. And look, I still believe this team can go far. So does Zach. And, if you look at the analytics, so do they. They still have a very good roster strength. But Hunter Dickinson and the Kansas Jayhawks have really disappointed this year. There's no way to sugarcoat it. They've been disappointing. Anytime you're picked first in a preseason poll, there's always a level of pressure you have to withstand. Anytime you add the transfers they did, the high, big names, anytime you're Kansas, there's going to be expectations. And they've really fallen short of those expectations this year. Now, like I said, they can definitely change it around. Bill Self is an incredible coach, and I would wager they will turn it around. You saw them with that big win against Oklahoma State, but they've just been getting dragged by teams. So there's also a chance that this may just crumble and end in a first-round exit in the NCAA tournament, or a second-round exit. Hunter Dickinson, great player. Don't get me wrong. He's going to get his. He might even be a March hero. But he just really hasn't lived. There are times in games where he is just completely taken out of the game. There are times where he is just a traffic cone on defense. And I think you saw that a little bit in that BYU game where they got blasted in Provo, and it just looked lifeless out there for Kansas. Their transfers, of course, Zeke Mayo has been very good. But AJ Storr, although we think he deserves more playing time, really hasn't been good, especially for a $1 million transfer. Rylan Griffin has been inconsistent. And this team just overall has a tough time winning games in this Big 12, which you have to. You can't be losing to teams like Utah when you're in the Big 12 if you want to be at the top of the Big 12. So right now they're nowhere near teams like Houston, Texas Tech. But I think they can get there. I think they can make a run, but Kansas disappointing. Now look, of course there's some bias in this, including this team, but we fell for the bias. We picked them very high. As Cincinnati Bearcat fans, Zach and I, we really believed that this team could get it done. And unfortunately, it's kind of looking like they're on the bubble right now, and maybe not the good side of the bubble. This team, the Bearcats, Cincinnati, ranked 52nd in KenPom. Now, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season when we were ranked like 15th or 16th in the country that right now we'd be ranked 52nd in KenPom, I probably would have broke down crying. But here we are. Our nightmares have become reality. Everything has gone wrong. As a person who's watched pretty much every single UC game, not a lot has gone right. And of course, there's still room to get some big wins down the stretch and turn it around. But I can't lie. It hasn't been great. And these guys know that. I'm not the type of guy to, badger players and coaches on social media and, call for their firings or whatnot. But I will acknowledge that it's a little disappointing to watch. Dan Skillings, I thought he would be the X factor of the season. Was kind of right about that, but not in a good way. He has not performed up to expectations. I thought he would take a jump. He's taken a step back. Lukosius as well, very inconsistent. Jizzle James as well, although he's been playing better as late, very inconsistent. Dylan Mitchell is a great transfer, but he's not a type of guy that'll go ISO and get you a bucket. And transfer guys just haven't really worked out as well as we thought. There have been no freshmen that have taken a leap. Just not a lot to like about this team, just from a purely objective standpoint. I know they're nice guys. Shout out to them. But as a person who's looking to get into this media field, it's not looking the greatest. Will not lie about that. But, oh well. That's where we are. But if you want to see more teams and more college basketball content, we would appreciate a subscription to ZBJ Media, and we appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Be safe.